What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Living in Grand Junction, Colorado. Today we're in the historic 7th Street District here in downtown Grand Junction. And we're going to tell you about what it is, where it is, and why it might be a consideration when moving here to Grand Junction, and maybe why it might not be a consideration for you when moving here to Grand Junction. And we're going to do it right now. What's going on, everybody? I'm Robert Hayes, and along with my wife Christie, we are the Hayes Home Group right here in Grand Junction, Colorado. Hey, if this is your first time to this channel, thanks so much for popping in. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, tap that bell, that way you're notified every single time we post a new video. We are literally getting phone calls every day from people looking to move out here, and we absolutely love it. So if that's you, reach out, that number popping up below, give us a phone call, shoot us a text, send us an email, even send that carrier pigeon. Whatever you need to do, we've got your back when moving here to Grand Junction. So like I said at the top, we're here in the historic 7th Street District in downtown Grand Junction, Colorado. Where exactly is it? We know it's downtown, I told you that, but it's basically, I mean, obviously on 7th Street, right? And it's also going to extend north to Hill Avenue. It's about 5 blocks, I'd say, north and south, and then it goes to White Avenue, to the south portion of the historic 7th Street District. I'm going to cross the street here, try not to get hit by a car. Basically, the 7th Street Historic District, it was put on the National Registry of Historic Places in 1984, and it's basically comprised of these old style turn-of-the-century Victorian homes where, you know, some of the trailblazers, some of the pioneers of Grand Junction, used to reside back in the, late even 1800s, early 1900s. And so it's just a real, cool little area of downtown Grand Junction. Whether or not you're going to be living here, even if you're not going to be living here, you definitely want to come down here and check it out. One of the things that's kind of cool about it is the walkability. So when you talk about walkability, what does that mean? If you're in a neighborhood, what's the walkability score, I guess you would say? Well, the area here in the 7th Street District is certainly going to have that for you. You go south to White Avenue, you're only 2 blocks away from downtown Main Street, where you've got shops, restaurants, little stores, boutique stores. All the lunch goers are going to head down to Main Street and go to one of those cafes. A lot of people anyway, so it definitely is going to have that walkability. Now, there are plenty of neighborhoods in Grand Junction that have walkability. They have little ponds and water sources and trails that go throughout the neighborhoods all over Grand Junction. But when it comes to walkability to go somewhere, a destination, you certainly have that here in the historic 7th Street District. Okay, so we've made our way to the corner of Chipeta, the street we were just walking down, and here's 7th right here. They've got the cool Christmas decorations lined all throughout 7th Street. You've got Gunnison, it's the next block up there, and they're going a couple more blocks north to Hill Avenue. That's pretty much the end of the historic 7th Street District going north, and then going south, I don't know if you can see the signal down there, that's Grand Avenue. 1 street south of Grand Avenue is White Avenue, and that's pretty much, again, what the common knowledge is of the historic 7th Street District. Now, even though the district, I've got UPS here, a little loud, delivering all the Christmas packages here, it's mid-December, but mid-December with beautiful sunny blue sky days, of course, I tell you that all the time, more sunny days than Florida. So if you go 1 block east or 1 block west, you're still going to see those old style Victorian homes, and even going all the way to 12th Street, you're going to still see this type of property all through the next 3 or 4 blocks going east. And as far as that walkability I was telling you about, you've got Lincoln Park, which is just on the other side of 12th Street, and they've got the Simplesio Field baseball stadium. That's where the Grand Junction Rockies play. They've got a big swimming pool, the Lincoln Park pool, and just a giant park where they're going to hold car shows, food truck Fridays. They've got fireworks going down there at Lincoln Park. So not only do you have Lincoln Park that you can walk to, bike to, take your scooter, you also have Main Street, which is just a couple of blocks south of here where all those shops, bars, restaurants are. So just a cool little area here in the historic 7th Street district. Now, if one of these homes does catch your eye, one thing that we definitely want to make sure that you consider, again, most of these homes are well over 100 years old. So when it comes time to buying, putting an offer on a property out here, you're going to want to make sure to get a very robust home inspection. Well, why is that? Again, over 100 years old. What's the foundation look like? Has all the plumbing been updated? Because you can really get yourself into a money pit in one of these homes in here if you don't really do a thorough investigation on, the bones of the house, the foundation, plumbing, the roof, all that stuff. Everything that goes into buying a home that's over 100 years old, you're going to want to make sure you do your due diligence. Now, should that stop you from buying a home here in the historic 7th Street district? Absolutely not. But if you're not into, possibly going into a situation where you're going to be doing some repair work and you're at that point in your life where you're just done with doing, repairs on a home, you just want to lock and leave, be done with it, something, maybe 20, 30 years old or even brand new, maybe the historic 7th Street district's not for you. But again, don't let that stop you. Just make sure we do the home inspection properly and do our due diligence. So I made my way to the south portion of the historic 7th Street district in front of what used to be Lowell Elementary School, built in 1925. The exterior looks exactly the way it did almost 100 years ago. It's still a school. It's a feeder high school now. And then across the street you have the old Baptist church, again almost 100 years old, same exterior as it was. And across the street, it used to be a pretty blue, now it's kind of a pea green. That's George Crawford's old house. He built in about 1906. Cool story about that house. He's actually considered the founder of Grand Junction and actually filed the paperwork to incorporate Grand Junction right here in that little house on the corner. Again, cool story about it though. Let's go check it out. Okay, so we made it across the street to the Crawford House. Again, the founder of Grand Junction, essentially George Crawford used to live here. Funny story, before Christie and I met, we actually were both in real estate, and she actually was in real estate and had a hair salon that she owned, and she ran it right out of George Crawford's house here on the bottom floor. So one of our first dates actually was right there on that porch. So she said at the real estate office where we first met, and I was, kind of doing my flirty thing, and she said, "Well, I've got to run to the hair salon." And I said, "Well, you got to eat, right?" She said, "Well, I'm just in a hurry. Bring me something if you want to." So our first date was Chipotle right here on the patio, and we had a nice talk for a good hour, hour and a half, and the rest is history. So there you go. There's the historic 7th Street district. Again, on the south side, it's going to go for another 4 or 5 blocks north. They've got some pretty decorations at night as well going along 7th Street. But the main thing is, whether you love it or you just want to come out here and check it out, as much as we love doing these videos, we would love nothing more than to crush your real estate goals when moving out here to Grand Junction. So that number popping back up below, reach out, give us a phone call, shoot us a text, send us an email, whatever you need to do. We've got your back when moving to Grand Junction. Until the next video, we'll catch you later.